I'm just doing an 8. Oh, I meant to do Jokul. There you go. 8 Jokul. I won't explain anything here. This is just go and have a look in the pin comment to how to beat 1 to 8 on each hero. It has a build for you and explains along the way with chapter markers. But I do it on an R1 for the sake of the video being shorter and just easier way chatting away. So go to that, don't watch this, but come back to this after you've done and say, how does it really perform on an 8? That's the only reason I'm doing these videos now. Craftsman's Inheritor, which I'll show you in the other vid, which I got it. Means gold is no longer an issue and we can upgrade our, we're using Spores weapon at every Craftsman and get Spores before the first boss. You can't get it without that, nor can you get an upgrade on every peddler. 300% weapon and skill damage, just a Q will take that guy out. It really is OP, but as I said, it's easy to die. So you have to play pretty carefully. Just getting some ammo around the corners. And our primary is cooldown is 50% because of overconsumption, which means it's like a 4-second cooldown. 1, 2, 3. It's 4 after that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's down from 8 seconds. That alone is worth overconsumption, especially in the first part of the act. It doesn't do well later, but what we do it for, I'm going to do the side room first. Is our skills become used primarily for defense, not damage. Though on the bunny it's a bit different. See, even the foundry's good. The movement speed we get off the bunny, it's nice. We've got 50% from overconsumption, but every enemy we kill, we get 10% movement speed for 6 or 8 seconds, I forget. But you can see I'm moving without ostrich boots or anything yet. Look at it. Movement's defense, movement staying alive in here. I do not like that. But I need one to hand over to a chat chest that says, give me in a cold scroll and we'll give you health or something. So I pick it up. And we have to be selective with overconsumption and Craftsman. That's the downside of it, but I've never really been struggling to get 20 good scrolls and get rid of the fluff. We're not specifically going for skill damage. You might use that early and then drop them later in the run and go more weapon damage and survivability. Okay, what do we got? Well, like blade. Now build is, it's all in the other video, but first choice for defense is that, then second is that, third choice is that, fourth is that, fifth is that, 1 pointer and that's great. Even a 1 pointer in that is great, but last, and some of those, one of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of those is good, especially with the injectors. I had over 3,100 rounds per 100 seconds on my last run on just a normal 8 to test whether they had fixed damage reduction. As you can see, glass cannon. I don't have sword guard, so I can't get my shield up quickly. Or max shield increased. Now I'm full on ammo and I don't need to do that. I'm doing that because if I go near it, they will grenade it and I'll die. The skills are great early on, just to clear these tight rooms, especially on the bunnies. Not all heroes are equal in their skill set. Some are more defensive and some will hit harder when you skill them up. Tigers are a little bit hard survivability in here. Doesn't have it built into the class. Ostrich boots, nah. I'll do that because the first act is not bad with the traps, but I usually do the first and second just get away from that grenade. First and second, what do you call them? Vaults. Couldn't search for the name. It's the harder of the two spawns this room can have. Oh, I had to be immortal, didn't it? Is it a he or a she? I couldn't tell. Gonna melt that. Don't need money, just for the odd scroll and the weapon in the first act. We're hoping if you want to get, if you are to get spores before the first boss, there is a bit of RNG. You don't want the vendors or the craftsman at least to be too early, because you want to have at least one of your two weapons before the craftsman that you want to sort of, you want an Argus or a Wild Hunt for your shotgun. Don't care too much about the primary weapon as long as it's fast firing for the spores to stack quickly. Again, all of this is in the other video. And more. Set of steak knives too. Okay, come on, sword guard, sword guard. Oh, we're going to have flower chain though. Now it starts to get a bit harder. Just got to make it to the first boss spores. We haven't, it's looking good. We haven't got ignore pains, not too bad. We need paranormality for this hero. Unfortunately, we can't use that. Don't go in close here. You're going to get exploding head guys, blow you up, and wreck your run. So just bait them and then do a Q. I think. Okay. These guys don't take any damage unless you get them right on the noggin. Oh crap. Trying to get out of there. It's slowed. Okay, where have we got? We got a craftsman back there I missed, did we? That's good. In that we can come back with our weapon and I can see a peddler in the next room. So as long as they're accessible in the same without going through a stage, we're sweet. Hoping that the peddler will have a shotty on it or a main weapon that we want to sort of use. We got more chances. It's a Phantom Peddler. Okay, I'm going to do that for later in case we get the radioactive glove I want. There's a helm, can be used in a pinch, but not permanently. It'll do for spores, but fire everywhere. It's brutal, these tight rooms, aren't they? There's another peddler, so good. Might get an Argus on that. What are you doing there, hiding there? Can't even shoot your head, can I? Okay, scroll. What do you got? Oh, bloody hell no. Bloody bad. I mean, it's alright if you got segment or something to heal you. Okay, so you got plenty of money because you don't think to spend it on, so I'm going to buy both of those and then refresh. I was hoping for an Argus then, but we didn't. But they will do as there. Now, what's the hell got is it? It's got a high multiplier but less base damage. That's 89. The Argus, it would be 16.25 as the multiplier, which that's a little bit higher, but the base damage would be like 110, and it then is over 500 by the boss, so it doesn't scale. That second number is important. You can see the base damage is higher there, but not what we want, unfortunately. But we'll just do the hell is a temp? Oh, we could. We got out. At least we got one. That just means we can get our shield happening. That's got a high projectile count, but very low base damage. It's not good. Got plenty there. Can I refresh? On Jokul you can refresh, by the way. It's too slow for spores. And again, it's got a higher base damage, but I'll stick with the hell for now. So we have a choice here. That's got 1,000. The rate of fire is pretty decent on it. So we can up that. We really haven't got our primary weapons in that, but up that and use it now, and hope that we get an Argus on the next peddler. But it's a bit of a gamble. I'm going to just bump that up. You have to get up to 5. Again, you don't have the money to do all that. That was 900 gold, and then that would be 1,000 to etch, so that would be 1,900 just to get that one with spores. This matters nothing, the inscriptions, just the inscriptions on the main weapon, but early game that doesn't even matter. You just want rate of fire. And we have, in this hero, we got Warlike Blade, so we've already got some rate of fire built into the class. Okay, just get some secondaries here. Got 8. You got plenty of money. We're maxed out on everything, but you can buy ammo and that here. You got nothing to spend money on except for a scroll now, the odd weapon early on. Got to be close to kill them. Our shields go through this guy's shield. You can bait them. You hate it if something like an Argus drops now, you know. She just upgraded but the wrong one. But that happens. It doesn't really matter in the early game. As long as your weapon has spores on it. And it's got a shotgun that has a multiplier and decent base damage. Harder in this one. The longbowmen are the most dangerous. Don't worry about the shields too much. Just get those longbowmen down. And any melee. Getting up here for a second. Getting my shield back. It was good to get that 1 point. I soak a lot of your swords out, but we've got time. I've got the longbowmen can't hear me back here. The non-enhanced ones you can get down with your swords pretty quickly. Just a blossom on them and a sword. Okay, clear longbowmen pew-pewing away here. The boss is through the next room here and a peddler. So sometimes you get the peddler in this room. Not the peddler, the craftsman. But then again, if you get the craftsman too early, you're stuffed. Well, you're not stuffed, but you're handicapped a bit. It means you won't get spores until the first craftsman after the first boss. And the bad swords. We'll get out of here. Get away from that pot too. Get a longbowman. I'll get out of the way, man. That one sword guard is rocking. I wouldn't be as aggressive here without it. being able to get. We've got the damage, but we haven't got the survivability at this point. Oh man. Delayed. Like there's a delay on our damage too that hurts us, but it's alright. I swear that everything's turning into horse heads here, but there's so many of them, but they're not. Which is one of the affixes that you can get for this room. Go, go, go! Sort of strafe these now. Okay, check the room because there's often chat chest in here. There was a vault, but I'm not doing it. I'm just going to go through the boss there. So Warlike Blade is secondary. I do like that one, especially early on with our skills, but it means you paint up with your Q and then your E, your sword's out, tracks onto the target if you're off a bit. There's a chat chest sometimes back on here, or even at the start, just on here. It's worth checking for it, it's not this time. Okay, it's boss time, and we're hoping for, I'd rather an Argus rather than Radioactive Glove or Rainbow at this point, because I don't have the Craftsman enough to do it, but we'll see. So we got Thunderclap, which would have been alright as a secondary weapon, but we'll stick with what we got. What's that got on it? Crit X. What's that got on it? Rate of fire and lucky shot chance. It's got 1600 because of the rate of fire, which is good for spores. So you can just buy it temporary, it doesn't matter. I get so much gold and then refresh. And we didn't get anything better, so we'll stick with what we got. Melt that. And get that up to 5. Now, if we etched it before we got up to 5, we would not be able to roll spores before the first boss. And you want to go into the second act strong, early, but we do want to get a better weapon here. It's not as bad, you could do the run with it, but it won't be, the base damage will not hit as high as we want it to. Just check your ammo there. You can see here, once you get spores, you don't have ammo problems because everything dies a lot quicker. And we've got plenty of secondaries for the side. I didn't see what boss it is, both is good, okay. His eyes are his crit spot and his belly, but you can see here that spores an overconsumption, and that's an 8 Jokul. What makes the Jokul different on the early acts is simply you often get more challenges in the room. That's really good for spores, just pew-pews more. And we got flower chain, so it's spreading AoE to our enemies. Don't really need to melt these, but we'll just get a little bit of money. And now you can actually pause there, and I'm going to just pause the game to have a coffee. Okay, I'm back. Just went to the mushroom there and got Blossom Enthusiast. Now I used to choose that straight up at the start. When I got my first kill I did that, but now that I've worked out on all heroes, spores early is much more consistent because skills don't scale well, though Blossom Enthusiast does really scale with spores, one of the few heroes that has a synergy with it. But that takes off 6 hits, so the way it works, if you look at our Fatal Bloom, is it takes 12 hits for us to proc the explosion of our, like, you know, we do our Q usually, our weapon actually does Fatal Bloom as if we do our Q, but without doing the Q. And we already have 300% base damage on our skills, so it's like having 3 of those straight up. So if we actually get, you know, that and that for survivability, that for rate of fire to make our spores hit harder, and then that, we're like getting spores and this at the same time, and you really want a fast firing weapon for that to perform. So it's got a great synergy, and now that is 12 hits. It's now 6 hits in intervals now, and you know that we're doing, I had a run where I was doing 3,000 the last run in 100 seconds. We're like instantly doing pink numbers over and over and over and over and over, which is our, you know, Fatal Bloom proccing really quickly, and we can actually bring, that's down to 6 with Blossom Enthusiast. We can bring it down to 4 if we get that one there, -2 hits. So, you know, you have to get 3 levels of that for that -2 hits. Even without that, we'll just pew with a fast weapon. It does mean as a Blossom Enthusiast build, you do need a fast weapon. Anyway, so we're coming into this. I'd say the worst thing of coming in here, I haven't got my preferred weapons. I often do have at least a shotty or a radioactive glove or a rainbow by now. But we'll get it here. Brutal room, by the way, and we did get the Craftsman, so if we did get unlucky, we can come back to that. Just paint them up to get some damage on them, and then, you know, we will really destroy stuff with this weapon. These are the most dangerous guys, so just, you can see that we come into this act strong. As long as it's a fast-firing injector, though it's not the best defensively, it just melts. So we're not going to upgrade anything yet. We're hoping that there will be a pedal around the corner and we'll come back. There'll be usually, that Craftsman can be in first, second or third rooms, but it'll be the latest, the third room. And we'll have peddlers ahead because the Craftsman spawned early and we can come back. The radioactive glove obviously auto aims, as does the rainbow, can shoot through terrain. But just plant for now. You know, do your Qs. These are like enhanced, but we do get movement speed to compensate. Like we get whatever they've got really. Okay, we're hoping for an Argus or a Wild Hunt, which we didn't get. Sometimes it's got crit X on it. Nope. What's the difference in this one? Movement speed when your shield armor is 0. Yeah, we'll do that. It's only 1 point off overconsumption. Shame we didn't get anything that we really want. See what scrolls I got. I sort of don't need that in this act, but I'll melt it later. There's a peddler. There should be a peddler in this room or just down the hallway. This room's brutal. You got those guys there. They're going to have arsenals in a second. No challenge though. There he is. That's spores for you. I mean, we haven't got a build going. There's no, all we got is overconsumption and spores. And the overconsumption will carry you through that first act. And carries you for the run in some ways if you're unlucky on the, because it means our Fatal Blooms, you know, hitting really hard. See the pink numbers? Okay, where are you? I can hear something, just somewhere here. There he is. And we got our Argus, so we're going to toss that. It means we did miss out on one Craftsman, but that doesn't matter. So it's got a multiplier of 16, but the base damage is 119. It's already higher at a level 3 than that is. And that makes a difference, believe me. So we're going to go back, which is quite a ways, but lost my way there for a second. And there might be in that room usually a vault or a chat chest, and I'll have a check when I come back. In terms of movement, oh, there's the chat chest. Oh, and this is new. Oh, this is different. I've not seen this one before. I'm really glad they gave us something like that. Reroll weapons enhanced attribute, but we don't have it enhanced. Anyway, I'm just going to, I don't have the weapon to reroll that. I'm going to just bump up that, and I haven't lost any of my levels there. But I've got to go back, and any weapon dropped in this act, it was level 3, can be etched straight away. Doesn't have to be up to 5, but we only upgrade from here on our Argist, and we're just looking for a better main weapon now. I mean, that's not bad, don't get me wrong, that's good, but it's got rate of fire. I just want to get Radioactive Glove preferred. So we bounce that up, we etch it, we roll it to Spores, and now we've got that for the entire run, and that'll be over 500 on the damage there by the end of the boss. Faster the main weapon fires, and we got Warlike Blade as well, so it really, this synergizes well. It's one of the best classes for Spores. I was just destroying the run before as a test to see if damage resistance was fixed. I was just checking I was recording. Sometimes I pause and don't put it back on, which would be a bummer. And the run becomes a lot faster now. It's a bit slower early on, you know. Warlike Blade, man, we're going to have rate of fire and damage from it, but the rate of fires. Let's come straight in and bump it up. But remember, it is so we'll come back for our main weapon. You don't even have to hit their crit spots. It'll go through shields as well, this now. It normally wouldn't. The Spores nukes. And now we do all side rooms. I didn't check for the vault in that back one, but we had a chat chest, so it's probably this will have an elite, and it's the shield guy. I was reading in Reddit the other day, people saying, I really hate getting the shield guy in this room. You know, you can't kill him, you got to add spawning, you got to edge around him. Doesn't matter with Spores, you just nuke straight through the shield without penetration bullet or anything, you know. Like, not a shield, but this guy's really dangerous. So you'll see the elites jumping down. They didn't even get a chance to land. And we got an Angelic Aura, which I really like. What's it got on it? Lucky Shot. MOMS, projectile, kill and relay. I'm going to stick with what I got for now. I've got another Thunderclap, seriously. Watch, I want this because rate of fire. I never use that unless you're doing a Tiger sniper build or something. This is the room I do get my injectors and that on. Against the flow is really good. Anything that stops you reloading, and also can help if you get 50% rate of fire on the first 50% of the magazine, and that's why we want ammo extractor too. What have we got? Enemies take a large. Oh, that won't matter. They're going to die before they get their movement buff. Through shields again, but we are still not got much defense, so we can die easy. That's why I want to get the other weapon. It just is more defensive until we get some ascensions and scrolls happening. It was fortunate that the Thunderclap gloves just had rate of fire. It's got magazine capacity and reload. You know, it means we don't reload, more reload time, but we got Lucky Shot, so they're a pretty good starting weapon, to be honest. Doesn't matter about its level either. I just did that last run with a level 3 main weapon I got in the first act, but it had really good inscriptions on it. It had rate of fire, had over 100% rate of fire increase. No challenges. They said they reworked the auras, and I've noticed since that patch, I used to get like challenges in every room, and they were just brutal, some of them. Whoa, they just spawned in on us. Dangerous, man. Those guys can usually be pretty bad, but I haven't got... No, I'll see in a way. I haven't been running because of the bug. The resistance bug. It was just spoiling runs, you know. You got this brilliant run, and I got the radioactive glove, and we got rate of fire on it, and lucky shot chance. So you have to run back, unfortunately, but now we've got this, we can do it for the run, really. And it's got 50% lucky shot chance after killing an enemy. I'd rather that be 50% rate of fire, but can't be choosy. It's just a great defensive weapon, and you can boss every boss with this one. Where the rainbow, always remember where your last craftsman is. I just take a mental note knowing I will do this. So just got to etch it and then re-roll it. 2, 3, I've had 12 rolls once, was my worst. Which is, 3,600 gold that we don't have. We wouldn't have that 4,200 because we've upgraded everything up to now, would be poor. And the brilliance is now that we can go past every craftsman and get 3 upgrades for our Argus. And that really does make, it's how Spores works. You don't ever do the main weapon. You can upgrade it without penalty at any time because you've invested no upgrades. Now, did I miss anything in here? Sometimes there is a vault. I hope I didn't miss it in my haste. Flower chains happening, which isn't too bad. We do have overconsumption. Oh, didn't miss it. Okay. Anyway, now the run picks up because this is just a great defensive weapon. The rate of fire is 1200. It's a little bit less, but the lucky shot. But this is the defensiveness of it. It slows everything, and it's got an AoE beam. So refracts to 3 nearby enemies when you right-click in the sweet spot. So we've got a new peddler we could come back to, but probably won't need to now. We can go straight through to the last act with this. All enemies transform to bandits, or, which doesn't worry us because this early we're so powerful. Yeah, we want to do every vault, every chat chest for scrolls now. I'll come back to that. There's usually a bandit jumps down there. There's a peddler. I'll go back and do the vault. Now I'm not scared to jump in these things anymore. I don't care what elite comes out. This will be an elite. This can be pretty brutal, this guy. Because you've got retainers spawning the whole time, the snipers. It can be the guy that throws bombs out. It can be the guy with the shield again. I hope it's a shield to show you. Now look at this, just burning in. Straight through the shield. And we got a rainbow. What have we got there? Yeah, I would have picked that up if I didn't have the radioactive glove, but it's not good on the third boss with the cannons. It doesn't auto-target them for some reason, where this does. You can still do it. I've done it where I just right-click. Dual edge this early is wonderful. We'll have over 400% damage, weapon damage at the end of the run, and only about 100. It's 5 to 1, so if you got 500 damage done, we'll get 100% damage done to us, but by then we'll have some scrolls and that for defense. I do that for the octopuses coming up in the third act. Anything that slows me, I'm immune to. And I'm good for MO. This can be innumerable elites, this room sometimes, or elite gathering I meant, which is innumerable elites, but can be scary if you're not this powerful early. Again, that guy just melt through the shields. Spores, rocks. I don't need to sell any guns anymore. There's an Argus if we didn't have it by now. Yeah, we'll get it. I've never got to the second boss and not had a Wild Hunt or an Argus. The Wild Hunt's just marginally not as good as the Argus, but not a lot. Here we are at the boss. That's pretty quick. What are we now? We're 24 minutes because it's slow until you get spores. And we bump that up. We're just looking on here now for a better weapon or scrolls. I'll do that even though it's skill based. I don't usually do it. And we get an extra roll. Nothing there. What do I need it to be? Thorns, equivalent 10%, so you dash and you lose some health. So, which you sort of got to dash on some of these guys. Don't be too worried. This guy is just going to melt. Just keep doing your E for sword. It didn't even transition under the ground. And that's, you know, 8. We're on an 8 run. It's the last act is always the test. And I got a second of what I really wanted to get as defensive. We got Deadly Counter. Oh man, we got some nice deeps. Just need some defensive scrolls. Heavy Shield, Feline Cat, Phantom Skin, Lightless Shield. And it is lunchtime. Okay, come back, and Fake Death is just wonderful to get at this point. An easy death in this act. We've got a weapon that's fairly decent. We could go to the end of the game with that, but we would want to get something a bit better. We're getting Lucky Shot, that's great. It's 90% Lucky Shot, killing an enemy. So we've got 90% plus our 25 in our base talents. So, yeah, it's pretty good for a level 4 weapon. And it doesn't matter about the base damage here. I mean, that helps, of course. It's how hard this hits. So we're coming into the third act where it can be pretty brutal. But, you know, why I like Fake Death is just a little mistake. You can get a room that's innumerable elites. And it can be brutal, even with the damage we've got. And we haven't got a lot of survivability. And that can just mean, especially on Jokul, it's great. Pump that up, but there's a guy there. How many swords have I got? 2. Okay. Sometimes I'm going to say there's a vault down there, check for it. Emergency heal won't hurt us too much. See our pink numbers just smashing, like I don't even think the game can keep up with the damage. And they even say that sometimes you don't see the numbers, but they are happening. Okay, come on, defensive. Oh, that's Lucky Shot. We got a lot of Lucky Shot. I won't say no to that. And we do have 3 of those, so we do have our. What's that up to? 76%. And we already did that. Yep. This is a little skinny area, and it can be brutal if you get a challenge here. Just looking for scrolls off these guys. More than anything. Like I got delayed death in this area. Not better than what we got, but I would be using it. There's what the Wild Hunt looks like. The projectile count will go up to 15, but too late in the game for us now. And nothing there, and we're good for ammo. I actually think, well, maybe not on Jokul, but the next bosses are the hardest of the acts, without defense at least. Some heroes have just such better defense built into their ascensions. The bird and the turtle I'm thinking of there, and even the dog with the health regen when they dual wield, and they can keep in dual wield constantly. Just us doing our swords out on cooldown when it heats up, you know, gets our shield temporary an extra 100 or something. Okay, we're good there. Swords out, swords out. Nope, the chanting didn't work. Not great choices there, but we're doing alright. Overconsumption can make up for a multitude of bad ascensions. Movement speed, okay, it's not too bad. This slows for a start, but I didn't last long to do any movement. Just remembering this is in case I get a better weapon, which is unlikely at this point. I mean, not unlikely, but it really has to be this weapon or no other that is more wonderful. So we're going through to the boss that the rainbow is not great on. This one won't hurt us too much. This room I think is the worst if what you kill can turn into a lantern or a shark. You don't always have the big hits at the end of the run. Sometimes I've been over 1.1 million on my bunny at the end of the run, but it's lots of damage, small damage, or big damage, just over and over and over at quick intervals. So it's not like the fox that you might do a huge hit with your spiritual fire. It's a good 1 point of that, especially before the boss. You just do a Q on the boss and that's straight up 30% damage reduction. It's a bit like stone penetration bullet. I really want defense. Oh, lucky shot again. Wow. What are we already up to? We're up to 50, 90. That's pretty nice. I don't really care about that because we're destroying through that in a way. I mean, that's good, penetration bullet. But spores just destroys their shields and armor. We'll do that. We can always drop it if we just somehow got more lucky shot. I mean, sometimes you can get a weapon that stacks. It's a what do you call it? I forget the name of it now. This inscription here, the orange one, elusive. That has stacking, lucky shot that can stack up to 100%, which it will do on bosses. And that's the only time you get rid of that scroll. Or this is the one I talked about, can be a rough rim. Everything can turn into a shark, or so just try not to kill everything at once and then have a million sharks. But honestly, our damage is so much with we got lots of damage, we're just a bit of a glass cannon, so I'm staying back. And we can slow with this weapon. So what's our dual edge up to? 278 damage and 55% damage done to us. So becoming more and more of a glass cannon. Obviously you could toss that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to have some fun with it in the last act, but I do want to get some survivability. Come on, where are all the scrolls? Did that one back there. We can get already on elusive. We've got two good normals, so I'm just going to have to do the lackluster choice. You can't re-roll that. Gain a weapon. Oh, that's gain a weapon. We don't want that. So we'll have to just bump that up. No better choices for us, but when everything's getting there, so we'll be over 500 with that by the last boss. And that's how hard our spores is hitting, is the off weapon. That's good timing. I'd like to get at least one of those. Elemental resistance won't hurt, because they won't last long enough. Enhanced sharks are bad, aren't they? They soak up some bullets. It's alright, that's good for bossing. An extra 100. Already have what are we up to on our overconsumption? We've lost 25%. So I still got 75. Oh, did I re-roll that? On Jokul you can re-roll them. I always forget. Sort of the benefit they give you, because the last act's crazy hard. Well, it can be. It depends what you get. Vulnerable shield. We get slowed if our shield gets broken, so you don't want to get hit. The music's heating up. It's telling me things are exciting. keep looking at my mini-map when I go up these small ones and this fast. I don't want to miss something like a peddler. I'm not going to diminish my overconsumption for that. Now, this can be brutal. Don't be lobsters, 3 lobsters. 3 catfish are bad. Crap. That's frontal, he's not too bad, but oh, there's a lobster somewhere, go get him. Get the catfish down and this lobster, he can just nuke us. I did a run where there were 3 of those. And the catfish can be bad too, but with this weapon you can stay back a bit and duck behind stuff. Okay, oh, I got Phantom Skin, thank you. That's our first defensive one. And get our goblet. Just had an interruption, someone came in, family. Okay, what do we get? We really just don't want damage now, just nothing great there to be honest. Defensive though, we just want defense at this point. And we haven't done this. Again, one more chance at a scroll. This guy will give us scrolls. The way you tell this if this guy's real, see his footprints. When he actually, just going to nuke him so quick. I was going to show you, but the real one has the footprints hidden. We can lock him up with that too to find out where he is. But we obviously had so much damage. If you get him in Act 1, he can be hard to kill. But overconsumption also. I'm going to do that. Hold on, before the boss. It's great if you get Paranormality. So I'm going to pick it up just in case I get it on the vendor. That's just before the boss. If not, I'll throw it out. I can't take extra damage. We've already got Dual Edge, which is ramped up to 330%, 66%. So I'd be getting like 100 and something. And I haven't got a lot of defense. I've only got that, you know, shield down there, Phantom Skin, which is good. If you have Paranormality, your health's 1, your shield's double, our regen and that, and max shield is there. Damage resistance, now this was broken. And I just did the run before on the last boss, but I don't know if it's a glitch, but I had some I couldn't kill. Anyway, that is good. We would do that. That's really quite nice because we're using an elemental weapon. But we didn't get the other. If you had a rainbow, you could have used that in Jelligora. And we will get rid of... Don't really need that now. Don't need that. Just want to get our overconsumption up. We want to get rid of the 75%. Where was that? There it is, Deadly Curse. And everything else looks fairly good. What's our overconsumption at? 27% loss. That's not bad. Bump up this. Fingers crossed. Swords out, just get our shield up straight away. Yeah, see the damage resistance is pretty big. Jump. Swords out. As long as you do a Q and an E every now and then, just keep moving out of that, dash out of that. Get your swords out again. Jump. You can do those doubles too, so watch out. Just doing our swords. Oh crap. You have to kill him now or get one of those hands to prop that. Got it. And a fake death saved the day. Well, we had our res, but still. I don't want to use that up yet. Lucky shot after dashing. I always forget to do that. What do we get on this one? Again, we've got the same lucky shot. Crit X isn't helping us. Magazine capacity. What's that? 30, 50. I don't like getting it on the boss anyway. How many scrolls can we have? Yeah, we'll do that quick. Okay, that's more of our pink damage. And here, you can change. Let me just save that there. One of your three. And I'm going to take a break and I'll come back, but they're all not bad. Copycat got really enhanced. It now stacks to 3 times. So if they're enhanced and the whole act is enhanced, it can be good. It also helps us because our Fatal Bloom gets a 200 and 300% damage increase. So I'm actually going to go for the damage. So our pink number is going to hit really hard. Painkiller's not bad either because, so I'm going to get that, and now what I do is I replace this one. So you haven't got 20 scrolls limitation anymore for the last act, and we got plenty of gold to roll our weapon at every craftsman. So it's pretty nice. Anyway, just I didn't take a break there, looked at the mushroom and okay, we're looking good. So this first room can be brutal sometimes. I actually hate it the most because it's got monkeys and everything. If it's the Foundry, 90% crit. At least we have fake death, which is really the priority on any of those, but you get 3 chances of getting that, don't you? Because we choose Craftsman's Inheritor. Jungle of Thorns is alright. But coming into here and trying to get crit shots with this act can be hard. It's the challenges, and there's no RNG, you know. I've got this act where it's just been absolutely brutal. Want to have a look what's on that rainbow. And then other times, like that, I just did 4 runs on testing, and what do we got here? That's really nice for the boss up ahead. No, and the elites. Grants additional beam, which is nice. Lucky shot chance, and it's got crit, which doesn't help us. And lose our rate of fire. But this is doing nice. Has it got any normal inscriptions? No. I really do like that on a weapon if there's nothing there. I have to find out where the Craftsman is anyway before I pick that up. It hasn't got spores on it, which is usually stuff ahead. I have to come back. I don't go into Act 4 on Jokul. You can see up there that vulnerable shield, that's not too bad. Without spores. If I threw that shotty down now, we wouldn't be able to kill anything. It's all the shotgun doing the heavy lifting. And this weapon, I might stick with this. That'll be nice for bossing though. And the boss does do clones and all this sort of stuff. We do have some fairly good lucky shot chance in a way. Corrosive backfire. There's the Craftsman. It would be good to show you the rainbow. It's good in this act, but I do like the range in this act too, keeping stuff away from me. I think I'll keep this. Bang, 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 bang. We're 464. Trigger slow down as we get close, you see, and the rainbow's got short range. Plus I can slow with this weapon. Except if they're immortal, it seems. Look at those. Look at the numbers above 16k on the pinks because of skill freak, and we got another. We got overconsumption. Look at that. So we got pretty nice on the remnants. especially with survivability being an issue, so I lost my whole shield to that one frost. You don't obviously have to do the side rooms, but I don't feel like it's complete unless you do the act. And we might get a nice scroll off it. Not really helping, but I've been doing achievement runs. I got all the achievements finished 100% the other day, and some of those were brutal. But having, what is it, Ultimate Gamblers, be able to re-roll your ascensions, was I said, look at this 24k pink then. Like, Skill Freak, and we got Blossom Enthusiast, just really showing off the Blossom Enthusiast build. And we got Dual Edge, like, dangerous, but look at what it does to elites. Just gotta get my swords out. Like, that was, our damage is insane. Probably one of the highest damage runs I've done, which you need on Jokul, let me tell you. Where's the exit over here? Here we are. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Come on, Feline Cat. We already get that as part of our build. Oh, heavy shield, wonderful. And that's why we came in here. Just any legendary shield. We've got no limitations on our scrolls now, except for we don't really want to diminish overconsumption. And in terms of build wise, it would be nice to get one more of those. We only got one of those, which that doesn't really help us on, it does help us on boss and it hits harder, but we've already got like that filled out sort of because of our overconsumption, and that's down to 33, so 60. Oops, better kill these. Surprising we didn't get a challenge again. It means the last room is going to be an Emerald Elite. It's pretty brutal. Those guys are really dangerous. Look at the damage we're doing. Still die, but that was a powerful cavalry, man. Ooh. Blossom Enthusiast. I've tried all the other ones, and you'll know this if you look at the video of the builds. He came up so slow because we nuked everything. He always comes up there, but I was thinking, where the hell is he? We just killed everything so fast he didn't have time to fly in. But I've tried the swords out build and the Q build. Damage resistance, it's alright. Because we're doing so much damage, they won't be resistant to anything. We got spores proccing, we got corrosive, so even if that's nullified, it doesn't matter. It's not the elemental doing the damage. Whoa, man. Okay, we just got to bump that up. I said we'll be over 500 by the boss, and we are. We'll be at 550 with the next Craftsman. Elite Gathering, this is the room. We can survive this room, we're good. It's the guy on horseback here that's just brutal. And he can't be slowed, and he leaves fire, and he just, if I can get him off that horseback and jump over that fire, we procced fake death. So what I'm going to do is, he's just so much damage and we don't have the survivability. I'm just going to wait here and try not, I'm trying to get my, it's only 45-second cooldown. They what do you call it, buffed it. And you can see in the bottom right, you can actually wait for it to come off cooldown. But if you get that guy down, you're usually sweet. I've done that in co-op where it's brutal. We just had the damage, even though we got nuked and cornered with the fire. Okay, you can see there the hearts at the bottom right underneath my blossom count is nearly going to disappear, and when it disappears you can come out, and that's the thing about fake death. We still got our res for the boss in case we need it. And as I said, we are a glass Kenton. We've got 482% damage, is why Dual Edge is doing this damage on top of the other stuff. Okay, we're alright now. Slowed by something. Whew. That's the room. It's not bad now, just and we'll see what we get for that and dump capacity overdraft. No, get rid of that. You don't want any scroll that diminishes overconsumption that you're not getting benefit from. Usually I like that in other Q builds, but where'd it go? Speedy Pursuit. I cannot, oh there it is. Too many icons. Now refresh it, did I? Not once. Twice. Yeah, what's Duel Edge up to? 483, nearly 100% damage done to us. It's touch and go, like, plus overconsumption. We're probably doing 500% damage now. I don't need that. And that's the boss through there. I'm just going to do one last chance at a survivability scroll. Don't really need that. It'd be nice to get a sword guard, but you got to take what you get. Oh, that's not bad. They turn into walruses. I'm going to get an elite in here, which can be in the chance of ascension. Like turning into walruses. I don't even see them because we're just, our damage is so ridiculous. I'm taking a chance though, just going to the last boss with that Duel Edge on. But it's too much fun, isn't it? Like, I just want to see. Come on, give me a feline cat. Oh, long shot, lackluster. Rightio, it's boss time, baby. Boss time, Jokul. He does clones and other things, and hits a lot harder. Jungle of Thorns, alright, at least it's not resist. Oh, eggshell, I'll take that. It's minus 30%, but we take more and we lose our shield, which is probably going to happen. Oh well, how many we got there? I have to do our Q on the boss to about 550 is usually we are. There we go, because we got it one Craftsman late. Rightio. Fingers crossed, we got our res, but there's no ads, so it got slowed by something. Oh, that's a dash, does damage to you, don't dash. Look at the damage, man, look at it. Look at it. This is Jokul, we just got so much damage. If we can survive and push him past the orb, we did, we pushed him past the orb phase. Finger down. Oh, oh, oh. My dog's barking because of the howl. Now that's Blossom Enthusiast, that's the bunny at its best. But, you know, you still kill it if we didn't have that Duel Edge and the other. It's Spores, it really is. Look, we're wearing a level 4 weapon. It's got some lucky choss, it's got some nice stuff on it, but, you know, I've killed plenty of times to just rate a fire on it without lucky shot like we have, but we just destroyed, and we had Duel Edge was just doing the heavy lifting. We're doing a lot of DPS scrolls. That really was doing the majority of it. Overconsumption, we still had, what have we got, 63%. So we're still doing like over 180% skill and weapon damage on top of the 556. And as I said, Duel Edge damage is defense in the end, and it can make up for a lot. Let's have a look at the summary here. So look at the numbers. I did one before where I was 1.1 million hit. It does low numbers, so you don't get big hits like a crit build on a sniper build on the Tiger where you can get 1 millions pretty easily. But you're doing so many small numbers, Spores and Fatal Blossom hitting, and then weapon damage, which is, you know, you can see my weapon damage is like, it was only 36 or something. So you don't get big numbers, but you are just destroying because of the other. And we're capped out, and we still made 785 spending. Now just to show you talents again, in here that if you want to get spores early, and I'll just show you priority of talents. This isn't the other video, I don't know why I'm doing it again. Just got excited after the kill then, that was just unbelievable. That one there is, now that I know what I know, and Craftsman's Inheritor the priority to get down to, and that lets you craft before the first boss, or at the latest you'll have spores by the first Craftsman in the second act. Just depending upon where the Craftsman spawns. If it spawns early, you might not have your weapon that you want. I'd say the survivability tree is really important, especially that last one. Can just keep you alive, but scrolls can make up for that. But they're alright there for co-op. I did one playthrough where I did unlocked with my 25-year-old sons and their mates, but I did a whole playthrough I just did solo, and those weren't priorities, but they are priority in co-op. This one's really important. This one I used to think was really important because of the gold, and I'd be selling weapons and getting down to there to make money for upgrading and getting spores in this, hopefully before the second boss, but usually in the third act. Not really that important, that'd be the last priority, but refreshing the peddler I think is pretty helpful. Down to there is really nice because you get on level 5 25% lucky shot chance straight up, but not crucial. But it also covers injectors and submachine guns. The angelic aura, any fast firing weapon, is really good for spores, so covers that. And then these two are not crucial. So this is though the really pushed one, push that one, and obviously you've got to get your skill down a bit to get your secondaries and your dash down and your primary down, because primary's defense on the bunny. There's a whole playlist on every hero, how to beat, what builds to use, and I haven't linked it here, but it's in the other one. It's Slight RNG's build for all three, and you'll see his Blossom Enthusiast. The only thing I change on that is I choose overconsumption and then Craftsman on every hero now. And that covers when skills don't do a lot of damage later on, they're more defensive. That covers that, your weapons really will carry the run and make it successful. Anyway, have a good day, and I hope that you get your bunny kill on Jokul soon.